You are tired of chasing a purpose. Have you noticed how pursuit makes everything smaller? You set out to find meaning and end up measuring your life like a checklist. Here is a promise. There is a different way to live that does not depend on victory, nor on proof. It asks less of you and gives back more, not in trophies, but in the ease of waking up. Stop chasing purpose, and you might discover that purpose was never something to be caught, but something that moves through you like a current. There is a common illusion behind this title, that life's worth is a prize at the end of a long, disciplined march. We are taught to aim, to fix, to secure outcomes. We accept maps that carry tiny print, metrics of success, instructions for approval. And we behave as if following the map will finally make the territory safe. You are not wrong for feeling the ache. It is reasonable to want a reason, to want your days to add up. That ache shows your heart is still open to meaning, not broken by cynicism. The question is less whether you seek purpose and more how you seek it. The danger isn't seeing, it's how you carry the seeing the game. Look at your life as if it were a stage. You play roles, learn lines, enter and exit. The audience changes. Sometimes you are applauded, sometimes you are ignored. You grow skilled at performing purpose because applause is tangible. Now imagine the same life as a river, water passing, shaping and being shaped. The river does not worry about whether it is a good river. It flows, gathers, slows, rushes, finds the sea. The river does not carry purpose as luggage. Purpose is the movement of the water. Here's the paradox. When you treat life as a board game to be won, you tighten. When you treat life as a dance, you loosen. Tightness narrows attention to goals. Looseness widens it to the world. And yet looseness is not aimless. A dancer learns steps, listens to music, but does not clutch the outcome. A friend once told me a small story. He had left a steady job to find purpose. Months later, he sat in a cafe, exhausted, counting rejections from interviews and feeling his worth evaporate. A stranger, someone waiting in line, offered a kind remark about his shoes. They smiled, talked for 10 minutes, and the stranger left. That brief human exchange refilled him more than any job description had. It didn't answer his life's riddle, but it returned him to being present. You were taught to measure, to compare, to keep score. What actually helps is learning to notice without carrying judgment. Purpose, in the river image, is not a destination on a map, but the taste of water on your tongue. The cost of the illusion. You chase, you tighten, you tire. You chase purpose and you become a performance of purpose. Comparison creeps in. Whose purpose is shinier? Compulsive helping becomes a currency. You measure yourself by how much you give, but sometimes you give to be seen giving. Racing time turns each morning into a practice drill instead of a waking. You lose small, quiet pleasures. You trade the moon's light for the glow of screens that promise metrics. You adopt a certainty addiction, the belief that if you arrange enough, you will secure meaning. And when meaning does not arrive as expected, you feel lonely, because you thought clarity would make you safe. 3 subtle ways this shows up in daily life. The checklist life, where each day is an item to be crossed off, and crossing off becomes the point. You wake accomplished but hollow, as if you had practiced a role well but missed the scene. The rescue compulsion, where you help because being needed proves your worth. You hustle to save others and think rescue equals purpose. Over time, rescue burns you and keeps you from healthy reciprocity. The future fortress, where you build a magnificent someday that postpones living now. You collect plans like armor, promising your life to an eventual purpose that may never arrive. Notice how each one narrows your field of experience. They are not moral failures, they are adaptations. But like a vine that climbs the wrong wall, they grow towards support that will not hold them. You chase certainty, you lose curiosity. You chase accolades, you lose tenderness. You chase purpose as a fixed point, and you forget that life is more often a series of meetings than a single revelation. The turn, here's the paradox that unlocks the whole thing. You find purpose by stopping the chase, not by giving up, but by changing how you pursue. Surrender is not defeat. It is the wise choice to stop hauling a weight that was never yours to bear. Imagine a dancer who knows the music will end. That knowing frees her to dance more fully because she is not grasping for an eternal applause. She moves precisely because the movement itself is enough. Presence replaces performance. Or see the river again. If you dam it obsessively, you will have neat reservoirs but dead channels. If you allow it to move, some paths will flood, others will reveal pools of unexpected life. The turn is to position yourself like a riverbank, firm but letting water pass. A parable. A village stopped trying to redirect the stream to suit every new field. They left an arc of land alone and watched as the current, when undisturbed, carved a gentle oxbow. When the villagers later planted along that oxbow, the soil was richest there, not because they engineered it, but because they let nature do its shaping. This is not a call to laziness. Discernment matters. To choose with clarity, you must be awake. To be awake, you must rest from relentless striving. The turn is subtle. Lean into presence and choose from that steadiness. Application. Lived wisdom. Try this as an experiment. For one day, ask less, what must I achieve? And more, what wants my attention? The difference is small in grammar but large in effect. Attention follows warmth. It grounds decisions in appetite rather than panic. Consider the framework. See, soften, select. See, notice the impulse to chase. Observe the tightness in your chest, the forward-leaning posture, the internal scoreboard. Name the feeling without commentary. Soften, breathe into the tightness. Imagine loosening a belt. Let your shoulders release. Allow curiosity to return to your jawline and palms. Softening does not let you slack off. It restores perspective. Select. From this calmer state, choose one small, clear action. Not the grand plan, but the next right thing. A call, a short walk, a piece of writing, a task that feels honest. For 1 week, try another simple rule. Pause, feel, allow, act. When an urge to do more comes, pause for a breath. Feel the urge in your body. Allow the sensation to be present without acting immediately. Then act if a wise choice arises. This practice trains you to respond rather than react. When comparison appears, do a micro-ritual. Close your eyes and picture a river meeting rocks. The water does not judge the rock. It simply moves, alters, and continues. Say to yourself, I am the river, not the rocks. Let that image loosen expectation. If you are tempted to rescue, ask 3 gentle questions before offering everything. Is this my responsibility? Will my help empower or enable? Do I have the energy to stay present afterward? These are not rigid barriers, but compassionate filters that preserve you and the other. Try this for connection. When someone speaks, listen as if you are watching a small current reveal a stone. Resist the urge to fix or advise immediately. Often the revealing is the healing. Presence is a gift that costs little but returns much. A tiny practice for mornings, 2 minutes of listening. Sit, close your eyes, and listen to the sounds around you. Let them wash through. Do not think about tasks. This sets the day's tone from being chased to being awake. Remember, practices are invitations, not punishments. Do them lightly. If you fail, notice without scolding and begin again. The river does not berate itself for splashing. Integration, belonging without the performance. You can belong without proving yourself every hour. Solitude can be a garden. Loneliness is the shadow that grows when you confuse proving with being. Boundaries are not bitterness. They are the riverbank that keeps water from spilling where it should not. Discernment is different from coldness. You can be open-hearted and selective at once. A person who knows how to rest is a better friend, a clearer worker, a more present lover. You are not late to the turn. You are exactly where you are meant to practice this art. You are not broken for having chased. That chase was an honest attempt to align. It only becomes a problem when it is the only tool you have. Add gentleness, and you widen your repertoire. There is relief in recognizing that purpose need not issue a certificate of worth. You are already acceptable to the river that flows through you. The question becomes how you will move with it. Crescendo, return. Go back to the first image. Stop chasing purpose. See it again as a small command that is really a permission to rest. You may lay down the checklist and notice how the sunlight lands differently on tasks when you are not clutching them. Stop chasing purpose. Let this be enough for today. A softening, a small practice, a river image to carry you. You may keep pursuing projects, loves and aims, but do so as a player at a dance, not as someone trying to outrun a scoreboard. Let your seeking be seasoned with pause. You may find that purpose, relieved of the need to be captured, begins to find you. In the way you listen, in the work you do without spectacle, in the tiny acts that are not measured but lived. Let that be permission to breathe a little more easily.